slate for the show. It is going to be in Major League Baseball. We got a lot of games to cover, so let's go ahead and take a look, beginning with the Rangers taking on the Pirates. That's going to be a 12:35 Eastern first pitch at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Now, the Pirates opened $1.40, total at 9. Nickel fade of Pittsburgh down to 135. Once again, the Pirates open 140, down to minus 135. Totals at 9. 55% of the consensus is leaning toward Texas. 69% of the consensus is shaded toward the over. Right now, the Rangers are plus 125 on the money line. Pittsburgh plus 150, laying the 1.5. Man, I forgot to write down shout-outs. I'll probably have to bust out the cell phone for the baseball shout-outs. No, I got them here. Never mind. Real quick, so Pittsburgh, they ranked 27th in home offensive scoring. We also have Miller on the bump for the Rangers, Kingham on the bump for Pittsburgh. Kingham does come into this game with a 6.40 ERA. Pittsburgh, once again, 27th in home offensive scoring. They've covered just 7 out of 17 games at PNC Park. Of course, when I refer to covering a game or ATS or against the spread, I'm actually referring to the run line when I'm talking about Major League Baseball. So once again, Pittsburgh covered just 7 out of 17 games at home. When it comes to the scoring, Texas is 6-1 at the over in their last 7 on the road. I'm going to lean toward the Rangers, plus 1.5 in the over. 9 runs in that game there. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout and do some shout-outs. I know that I normally do shout-outs on just one video, but we're doing it in each video because I want to recognize and acknowledge the folks that are commenting in each sport. So the following shout-outs, you had made a comment on the MLB video from yesterday, so I figured I'd acknowledge it today. Proline Master, Jimmy Johnson, Chuck Pinter, Arthur Mead, who actually busted out a Walt Anderson reference. Arthur Mead, longtime supporter and viewer of Brock Page Productions. I think Arthur was there on day one as well, but I've known Arthur for a couple of years now. Very good guy, but he says he made a comment about my disdain for Walt Anderson, the NFL official, who I don't know if he's going to retire or not, Arthur. I think it's about that time. But anyway, shout out to Arthur Mead in the comments section. We also have Nenad Markovic, Derek Baldonado, Calico Jones, and Jimmy. Jimmy, just no last name, just Jimmy. And he said the White Sox are winning yesterday, and they did. They got the job done against Cleveland, 2-0. Got to give a shout out to Zach Billheimer. And last but certainly not least, my good friend Stephen Lewis. Always great to see you, Steve, in the comments section. He gave us a nice parlay yesterday. I forget what teams were involved, but it was a 3-teamer. So, Steve, let us know in the comment section. Did it cash? And if it did, I think we're probably a little bit curious as to how much green you got from that. Of course, you don't have to let us know how much money you won, but if you hit that parlay, I think, I don't know, let us know if it was like over or under 1,000. There you go. What is that, a grip? No, a grip is 500, I don't know, a stack, 1,000 stack, a dime. That's what we refer to it in the sports betting world, a dime. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into some more games. Next game, Diamondbacks, Rays, 110, Tampa Bay. The Rays opened $1.50, total 7.5. Nickel moved toward Tampa Bay and movement downward on the total, 155 and 7. Once again, the Rays opened $1.50 up to minus 155. Total opened 7.5 down to 7 flat. 67% of the consensus is leaning toward the Rays. 58% shaded toward the under. Right now, Arizona's plus 140 on the money line. Tampa Bay plus 130 on the run line. We have Robbie Ray for Arizona. Charlie Morton for Tampa Bay. I think those guys were teammates in Houston last year or 2 years ago. But anyway, Robbie Ray is 2-1 with a 3.79 ERA for Arizona. Charlie Morton 3-0 with a 2.52 ERA for the Rays. Charlie Morton, just a fantastic pitcher. Tampa Bay, first in runs allowed, first in hits, 4-1 in their last 5, 7-3 in their last 10, 18-10 as the favorite. Diamondbacks 0-3 in their last 3, 25th in road runs allowed. Arizona 5-0 to the over in their last 5 on the road. Tampa Bay 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at home. I'm going to lean Rays minus 155 in the over, 7 runs in that game there. Next matchup, Nationals Brewers, 1:10 Eastern first pitch in Milwaukee. The Brewers opened $1.75, total at 9, 25-cent move toward Milwaukee up to $2. Once again, Milwaukee opened $1.75 up to minus 200. Totals at 9, 70% on Milwaukee, 55% on the over. Washington's plus 175 on the money line. Milwaukee plus $1.05 on the run line. Hellickson for the Nats, Woodruff for the Brewers. Hellickson's 2-0 for the Nationals. Woodruff comes into this game with a high 4.71 ERA. Now, Washington is striking out 10.14 batters per contest. They're also 6th in road scoring. The Brewers on the other side, well, they're striking out 9.74 times per contest at home. They're also 20th in runs allowed at home as well. Total-wise, Milwaukee's 4-2 to the over in their last 6, taking on Washington. If you're into historical trends, give me the Nationals plus 1.5 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Phillies, Cards, 1:15 St. Louis. The Cards are minus 150, totals 8.5. 56% on St. Louis, 71% on the over. Phillies plus $1.35, St. Louis plus 125 on the run line. Eichhoff for the Phils, Flaherty for the Cards. Eichhoff comes into this game with a 2.05 ERA. Flaherty comes into this game for St. Louis with a 4.17 ERA for the Cards. St. Louis has dropped 5 out of their last 6. They're also walking nearly 4 batters per contest. They're walking 3.7 batters per game. Philly on the other side, 3rd in walks, 1st in striking batters out on the road. They're averaging 10 strikeouts per game. Total-wise, St. Louis 11-7 to the over at home. Give me the fight in Phillies, plus 1.5. And the over 8.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Mets, Padres, 3:40 Eastern first pitch in San Diego. No line for this game as of yet. No line. But we do have Font for the Mets. Strom for the Padres. Font comes into this game with a 5.79 ERA for the Mets. Strom 3.03 ERA for the Padres. San Diego is 4th in runs allowed. Winners in 2 out of their last 3. The Mets on their side of things, losers in 4 out of their last 5. And they rank dead last in road hits allowed. People really scoring a ton of runs against them when they travel. Give me San Diego winning this one outright for the win. Next game, White Sox, Indians. 6:10 Eastern first pitch in Cleveland. The Indians open minus 175, total 8.5. 25-cent move toward the Indians despite losing 2 straight. They're now minus 200. Once again, Cleveland opened $1.75 up to minus 200. Totals 8.5. 73% leaning toward Cleveland, 63% on the under. Right now, the White Sox are plus 185 on the money line. Cleveland plus $1.05 on the run line. We have Lopez for the Sox, Bieber for the Wahoos, the Indians. White Sox, once again, 2-0 in their last 2. Those games coming both against Cleveland. They're also 6-4 in their last 10. They're winning 60% of their games in their last 10. The White Sox rank 5th in hits, believe it or not, and they are 3rd in walks allowed on the road. Now, Cleveland on their side of things, they are 2nd to last in home hits. They're also 27th in runs scored on average. Give me Chicago plus 1.5 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Mariners, Yankees, 6:35 New York. The Yankees open $1.40, total 9.5. 10-cent fade of the Yankees down to 130, total down to 9. Once again, the Yankees open $1.40, down to minus 130, total open 9.5, down to 9 flat. 59% on the Yankees, 51% on the over. Seattle's plus $1.20 on the money line. Yankees plus 140 on the run line. Kikuchi for Seattle. Kikuchi for the Mariners. Losiga for the Yankees. Seattle is second in road scoring, 6.4 runs per contest in that category there. They're also third in road hits at 9.8 on average. Yankees on the other side, 21st in home hits. They're also 9-4 to the over in their last 13. Give me the Mariners plus 1.5 in the over 9 runs. Next game, Red Sox, Orioles, 7:05 Inner Harbor. Boston opened 245, total 8.5. 55-cent move toward the Red Sox, up to minus 300. Once again, Boston opened 245, up to minus 300. Totals 8.5. Red Sox are taking 68% of the consensus action. 73% is shaded toward the over. Right now, Baltimore's plus 255 on the money line. Boston minus $1.55 on the run line. We have the struggling Chris Sale for Boston looking to turn things around. We also have the struggling Andrew Cashner for the O's, who comes into this game with a 4.71 ERA. Boston's also fifth in walks, really doing a good job getting batters on base. They're striking out just 7 times per contest on average. The Orioles, on the other side, losers in 7 out of their last 10. They're also just 2-14 in their last 16 at home, taking on Boston. Total-wise, the Red Sox are 71% to the over in their last 7. Chalk, chalk, chalk. Give me Boston minus 1.5 and the over 8.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Twins, Jays, 7:07 Toronto. The Twins open $1.25, total 8.5. 15-cent fade of Minnesota and movement upward on the total. Minus 110 and 9 flat. Once again, Minnesota open minus 125 down to minus 110. Totals open to 8.5 up to 9 flat. 63% are leaning Twins. 70% shaded toward the under. Right now, Toronto's plus 145 on the... I don't know. Disregard that. Disregard what I just said. Gibson, projected for the Twins. Thornton for the Jays. Thornton's 0-3 with a 4.07 ERA. Toronto's 28th in runs scored at home. 28th in hits in that same category. Minnesota, well, 4-2 to the under in their last 6 on the road. I really botched that pick there, that whole segment. Give me Minnesota minus 110 and the under 9 runs in that game. Next matchup. Angels, Tigers, 7:10 Detroit. The Tigers are minus 110, total open 8.5 down to 8 flat. 56% are leaning Angels, 74% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Tigers are plus 200 on the run line. We have Skaggs for the Angels, Boyd for the Tigers. Skaggs is 3-2 with a 3.12 ERA. Boyd is also 3-2 with a 3.05 ERA. Might not be a bad matchup here. Does have all the makings of a pitcher's duel. Just keep in mind, Angels are 7-3 in their last 10. So I'm going to lean Los Angeles minus $1.10 and the under 8 runs in that matchup there. All right, a couple more games to cover. What time is it? Man, really long podcast today. Miami taking on the Cubbies, 8:05 Wrigley Field. The Cubs open 225, no total as of yet. Nickel move towards Chicago up to 230. Once again, Chicago open 225 up to minus 230, no total as of yet. 67% are leaning Cubbies, and at the moment, the Marlins are plus 210 on the money line. We have Jose Urena for the Marlins, Hendricks for the Cubs. Urena is just 1-5 with a 5.22 ERA. I think Urena's had maybe 7 career wins. The guy is horrible. Miami's horrible as well. They've had 35 total games this year. They've won just 10 of them. They're also winning just 28% of their games as the dog. Give me Chicago minus 1.5, getting the job done on the run line in that matchup there. All right, next game, Royals, Astros, 8:10 Houston. The Astros open 225 up to minus 240. Totals at 9. 73% are on the Astros, 61% on the over. Kansas City's plus 215 on the money line. Houston minus $1.15 on the run line. We have Lopez for the Royals, Brad Peacock for the Astros. Now, Lopez is 0-3 with a 5.09 ERA for Kansas City. Houston's been winners in 3 out of their last 4 games. They also rank second in hits, and they are 5-0 to the over in their last 5. Give me Houston minus 1.5 in the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Giants, Rockies, 840 Colorado. A lot of movement in this one. Colorado opened $1.50, total 11, 15-cent move toward the Rockies, and a full one-run move downward on the total, down to 10 flat. Once again, Colorado opened $1.50, up to minus 165. Total open 11, down to 10 flat. 64% are leaning Colorado. 55% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Giants are plus 140 on the money line. Rockies plus 125 on the run line. We have Holland for the Giants, John Gray for the Rockies. John Gray comes into this game with a 3-3 record and a 4.22 ERA. Colorado is also second to last in Major League Baseball in runs allowed at home. And as a matter of fact, they are dead last in hits allowed at home. Meanwhile, San Francisco 5-3 in their last 8, fifth in walks allowed. Total-wise, San Fran's 5-0 to the over in their last 5. Colorado 6-0 to the over in their last 6. Both teams 11-0 to the over in those stats combined. Give me San Francisco plus 1.5 in the over 10 runs in that game there. Next matchup, Reds, A's, 10:07, Oakland. Give me Oakland minus 120 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next and final matchup, it is going to be Braves, Dodgers, 10:10, Eastern first pitch in Los Angeles. The Dodgers open the betting as the $1.80 favorite, total 7.5. We're seeing a 10-cent move toward the Dodgers and movement upward on the total. Minus 190 and 8 flat. Once again, LA opened $1.80 up to minus 190. Total open 7.5 up to 8 flat. 74% are leaning Los Angeles, 63% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Braves are plus 175 on the money line. Dodgers plus $1.05 on the run line. Foltynewicz for the Braves, Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. Foltynewicz comes into tonight's game with an 0-1 record, 5.06 ERA. Kershaw, pretty good stuff this year, 1-0 with a 2.77 ERA. Give me the Dodgers minus 190 in the under, 8 runs in that matchup there. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Before I get out of here, just got to remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. Also, let me know if you're interested in one of these shirts. I think if we get enough interest, we'll go ahead and put them to print. I know that there's been a couple folks that have been interested in them. I want to get a little bit more interest before we go ahead and put a purchase order in. I'm also bouncing the idea around of a giveaway on Patreon. I like free stuff, most free stuff. So give me some ideas. Let me know what you'd like to see. I think, like the Wu-Tang Clan said, cash rules everything around me, cream. So we're probably maybe thinking about doing a little bit of cash giveaway. But let me know in the comments section. For Patreon members only, a nice little giveaway at the beginning of June. Anyway, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free information right here on YouTube. I know I really enjoy presenting it to you. But once again, don't forget to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage.